Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 161 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is a rainy, dreary Saturday, May the 13th, 2023, and yeah, it's a rainy, dreary day out today. Nice day to stay put and get a lot of knitting done. So someone had asked last week if I could post a picture of my regalia. So I'm going to add in a couple pictures. I didn't get any decent pictures last weekend, but what I will do is I'll go rooting through my old pictures and I'll find a picture and I'll put a couple pictures, hopefully the front and back view of the regalia, so you can get a look at what that looks like. So I'll get that added in here. Why am I drawing a blank on the designer's name? How many times have I said that? Do I have it written down here? No. I'm completely drawing. I will get that written down here. It's a complete blank. Nope. It's nowhere to be found. Lights on, nobody's home. It's nowhere. Completely, seriously, completely out of my memory. Huh, okay. That's bad. Anyway, so I've got a lot of work done on my Rachel top. And oh, the name is just on the tip of my tongue. Something Joby. Or Job. Jobe. This is gonna drive me bonkers. Absent-minded professor here. Seriously. I'm an absent-minded professor. Veronica Job. Yes! Got it! Oh, heaven help us all. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so when I left you last, I was almost done with the front. And I just had to do a little bit more and then do the neckline and the shoulders. So I was down here, and so I finished, and the front portion is done. So here's left shoulder, the neckline, and the right shoulder. And then this will be down into the armhole. So I right now have the front, the two shoulder sections are just on a spare circular needle, and I'm using my fancy needle protector thing. It's just a hair elastic wrapped around there, around and around a half a dozen times, and that'll just hold it together so that the stitches can't escape. So once I have the back done, the shoulder seams will be joined, and we'll move on to the shoulder, or we'll move on to the sleeves. So the front was finished, and I made fantastic progress on the back. Since I saw you last, I hadn't done anything on the back. I started here at the sleeve separation, or the armhole separation, and I've done all of this part from the marker upwards. So I've done about 5.5 out of the 10 8-row repeats that are needed for the lace pattern on the back. So once the 10 repeats are done, then it's time to do the shoulder and neck shaping. And that was a lot quicker and easier to do than I was anticipating it would be. So that was a nice surprise. So I'm hoping that by next week I will have the back portion finished. So again, I've got 4.5 repeats left to go, and then you join the two shoulder seams and move on to the arms. So, or the sleeves. I guess arm sleeves, same thing. So it's getting closer. I'm hoping to have this done fairly soon. Fairly soon. We shall see. But it is getting quite close to being finished, so I'm happy with that. My other whip that I'm working on lives in my Moonstone Dye Works project bag, and this is these are my May sort of shorty toe-up socks. So again, this is one that doesn't really have a specific pattern. It's just a basic toe-up construction, and I'm doing the toes, the heels, and a teeny bit at the top of the cuff in a bare yarn. And this is my June color. I left off back here where the little kitty cat marker is, so I've added a goodly chunk onto the foot. I'm at the point now where I'm doing the increasing where we increase for the gussets. Then it'll be time to switch colors and do the heel turn and heel flap and get that done, and then switch back to my main color and go up the leg until I run out of yarn. So I'm almost halfway done the gusset increasing. This yellow marker takes me up to 55 rounds of the main color on the foot, which is just the right length for my big foot. Then it's 20 rounds on the gusset increasing. I think I have 9 or 10 rounds done now. So that is almost, I'm pretty much at the halfway point on doing the gusset increasing before I'm ready to start doing the heel turn and the heel flap. I find once the heel turn, heel flap are done, then I only have 25 rounds to do on the leg plus the cuff, and it flies off the needles once I get past the heel turn and heel flap. So I'm making good progress on those, and that's been all my knitting for the week. It was a lot of knitting. Not a lot of variety in my knitting. I have spent a lot of my spare time while watching TV and relaxing knitting, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Next week I want to get started on doing some little puttering kind of jobs around the home. I hauled out all of my tubs of yarn. They're all sitting all willy-nilly in the living room right now. Not the best spot for them. So what I plan on doing probably Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully I can get it all done on Monday, but I'm not holding my breath because it's kind of a big job. Hopefully I can work my way through all of my yarn stash, tidy it up, reorganize it, and once that's done, what I want to do is take pictures of each and every piece of my yarn so that I can get an inventory updated on Ravelry. I like having my yarn listed there because it allows me to kind of scroll through and see exactly what it is I have. And particularly if there's a certain project I'm looking at that I would like to make, then I can look at, okay, what do I have in sport or DK or worsted or fingering weight yarn? How much do I have of different colors and things that would work for making something? So that's my goal, is to get everything organized, then get everything photographed and onto Ravelry. And as I'm doing that, I am planning on videotaping quite a bit of the process, and I hope to get that all listed or not listed. I hope to get all the filming done, get it edited and posted onto my channel for you to kind of go through a walkthrough with all of my stash, kind of like a flash my stash kind of video. And I'm thinking I might do a video in a week or two where I'm going to go through part of my stash and kind of go through a wish list of projects I want to make and yarn I will use for that project based on what I already have in my possession right now. So I have several patterns in mind and several things that I want to make, but I need to try to show some restraint because there's so many things I would love to cast on. Both of the projects I'm working on now are fingering weight. I would love to start working on something in a heavier weight yarn. And I'm still wanting to contemplate doing something with a bunch of my sport weight yarn that's sitting there behind me. Maybe do something in stripes, a cardigan, something. Still kind of perusing some patterns and some ideas, but I do want to use this. And I suspect what I'll do is I might over dye some of the yarn so that it kind of makes it a little bit more cohesive than this kind of screaming basket of yarn is right now. So that's kind of that plan. And I just want to kind of get things tidied and organized. I'm also looking around my craft room right now, and it's a disaster zone. There's a pile of things that need to be put away. I have shawls and socks just draped over the back of a chair that sits right beside me here. Those are probably better off being put in a drawer or put away somewhere. I'm going to do a little bit of research and try to find ways that I can keep my shawls out and on display so I see them and remember them and use them. And it can just be something that'll be decorative and just look pretty. But all my socks need to be put away because I have a whole bunch of them that are just sitting over on the chair. It's just sitting right beside me here. So I need to get on that. This room is a disaster zone right now. And now I have a bit more spare time that I can get some of that done. I do have some things school-wise that I need to get working on starting next week. Start working on a bit more research, kind of get that part of work back on track again and get some of that done. But I think that's about all. This is actually going to be a fairly short episode. I think it is. I hope maybe I'll be able to post, maybe I'm kind of hoping on Wednesday I can post part 1 of my stash organization video. And with the organization, it's just going to be getting all my yarn into light groupings and into plastic tubs that will go back in a closet in the apartment. So I'm not going to have them on display, because I have found that the end of these skeins of yarn that have been facing out have faded a bit because of the sunlight coming in from the windows over beside me here. So this might not be the best place and way for me to store my yarn. Probably not. But on that note, I'll let you go on a bit of a shorter episode this week. It's been a nice, quiet, uneventful week. I've spent a lot of my time sitting on my tail feathers and watching TV, watching YouTube stuff, and knitting. And it's been good. It has been very good. So next week, hopefully I will have the front and back of my sweater done. And hopefully I'll have some progress on the sleeves. We shall see. Or maybe I'll have my May socks finished or close to finished. Kind of like to finish them so that I can get started on another pair of toe-up sort of shorty socks this month. But we shall see. Anyway, I gotta quit teasing myself with things that I want to do. I need to get these 2 existing projects done, especially the sweater that has been on the go for far too long. Far too long. I started it last September. Way too long. So on that note, I really will shush up and I'll let you go, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.